Hello, good
Hello.
and welcome.
Well, you're right. You settled.
Not too bad. Not
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Folks, Justin's going nuts because his system was going a wee bit, it was a wee bit pear shaped, but it's all good now. Isn't it, Justin?
Not really, because the system we want to use isn't working. It isn't working, and it's one of those things, you know.
Aye.
So you're watching us tonight. You should be watching us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, and let me see. Can I show you? I can show it. Yes, I have. Mark's there. Everybody's there. Chat overlays on, but for some reason, chat overlay isn't working. But we'll put it in. Yes, we've got it all. There, we've got it all. I quite like that chat overlay down the side. That's maybe why we're going to stick with Restream, and we're going to have to axe, and we'll maybe choose another one as a different backup system then.
Right, okay.
So there you go. That's it. So if you're watching tonight, we are here. You mightn't have got the ping. Who
We're
you
here.
see? Oh, we're here. We are here. I know we're here. I know we're here. I know we're here. People can see us. I don't know.
No, what were you going to say there?
I was just going to say, Julie's saying hello.
Oh, I thought you were going to start
Same as No, I'm not going to rant. Same as Tobin saying hello. We must remain professional at all times.
That's not what you were doing 2 seconds ago. There's a whole lot of effing and jeffing going on. How come you're allowed to do all this effing and jeffing?
I'm not Chris Rock. You're not Will Smith. We're not in the same room. I can't come round there and bitch slap you tonight. So that can't happen.
Listen, I'm going Nitro Surge, because I haven't had one of these for a while. And I can't hear, if this goes pear shaped tonight, but if it goes through the ceiling or something, don't just wait on me. I'll be back. Hang on. I can never remember how to do this. I know it's not complicated, but I'm not good at this kind of shit. Is that right? Is it?
I don't know. I've never done one of them before. Is Nitro Surge a different one than the other one? Is it?
You get the one that shakes it like Billy-O.
Yeah.
And then so that's right. Hang on. Is this what I'm supposed to do? This, isn't it? It seems to be working. It seems to be doing a good job.
Something like that.
Look,
there's Kelly Owens is in tonight.
Oh, Kelly.
Kelly saying hello. Frank saying hello.
Oh, Frank,
let me see. Linus121 is saying hello. Evening, gents. Philippe's on tonight. Philippe News. Hello again.
How you doing, Philippe? You all right, buddy?
Hello again. Yeah. James and Moira Doherty, there you go. He must have twigged that they're all sitting there in front of you there, you know.
We are experimenting tonight. Once we do the hellos and Justin settles a bit, once he calms down, then...
Because if I was drinking me, I might go mad. I don't want to show how much I've drunk of the bottles already.
I'll choke you. I'm not joking. I will choke you. But no, Thomas is saying he got 2 bottles of Black Bush for €25 a bottle. I congratulate Thomas. You never go far wrong, buddy. You never go far wrong with Black Bush. That's fantastic value for money.
It is. It is indeed. Good.
There's something not quite right with that there.
It's not as bad as that one that was just a Coke float.
Having been in the States, there's not a big lot of difference between their version of Guinness and the Coke float. It's really awful. Okay. Right, hang on, bear with me, folks. We're getting there.
There's Russ Peace saying hello as well. Evening, lads. How are you both in this fine chilly? We're lovely. We're lovely.
I'm not that long back in because I was working all week. I had guests. I was over in Scotland, and we got over to Ireland, and we dropped them off. That's my last tour of the summer season, and it was nice to finish off with them. Kelly was on that. And I have to say, they were a great bunch. They were really, really nice people. Fun, a real laugh with them. So it was nice. It was really good. And
so we're celebrating tonight then? Yeah?
Well, kind of. We're celebrating tonight because during the week, I have to go for a little operation. It's I have to go under the knife just...
You're not going to do like Jimmy Carr, and next week we're not going to recognize you because you're going to have hair back down to here, and your eyelashes are going to be black, and your face is going to look like you've got lipstick on.
No. I have to go in actually next week. I will be silent. This has never happened before. I've never been quiet before, but I'm going to get my tonsils and stuff out. Getting all snippy. So I'll not be on next week. Justin, however, will take up the mantle.
However, I'm going to be taking up the mantle, and I'm going to be trying. What is it? What is it? A glass? How much is it a glass?
Oh, I don't even know. I don't know what she's going to be charging. All will be revealed next week, but it's an exclusive bottling of a very refined whiskey that's very exclusive, and it's going to be totally wasted on Justin. It's Justin will probably get it and stick Fanta Orange or Iron Brew or something on it. You know, that's the kind of thing.
I won't, because I've tried their stuff before and it was pretty special. It was pretty special. She's a great supporter of us. I'm looking forward to getting down next week, during the week, and obviously videoing the show for next weekend. And well, I was hoping to get dressed up in the hospital gowns, get in there and video the whole thing while it's going on. But unfortunately, with the COVID restrictions still in place, I'm not allowed to. You know. So
right,
there you go.
We're going to do an experiment this week. What we're going to do is, people talk about flavors changing and stuff with various means, you know, putting water in it and all that kind of jazz, right? So what we're going to do is a little bit of an experiment. Now, you can try this at home if you've got the stuff, or even just a version of it. If you've got a bottle, get a couple of glasses. I have Justin sort of prepped in this. He never fucking listens anyway, so we're just going to have to go with it. Now, what we do is we get a couple of glasses, and we're going to do it. I'm going to do it with 2 bottles of Silky. One is the ordinary 46%, well, ordinary, the 46% Silky, right? And we're going to pour it now and pour out a little measure.
Okay.
Pour it out now. Then we're going to take the cask strength Silky. Now, the standard Silky is 46%. The cask strength, I always laugh at James's cask strength because it's this one's 46.3. So let's just say she's spicy at that. So we're going to pour out a measure of each. All right. And what we're going to do is just set them to the side. Right. We're going to put them over there, and we're not going to touch them for a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
Just set them there.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Aye, we're just going to set them there. I realise it just said James called it ordinary. I then changed to standard. Is that a better phrase? The standard Silky, not the ordinary Silky. The standard.
Okay, I've got mine. Now, that one is... Oh, that's in mirror image, this, so it doesn't make any difference.
It doesn't matter. Just it's only for reference for later, okay? It's only for reference for later. So, we're going to pour them and just leave them sitting. We'll leave those sitting. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the news of the week, okay? Leave them. Right?
Okay.
Now, we're still not allowed to jingle because Sony keep suing us or trying to block us and all that crap. So we're just going to make up.
Listen, I don't know. Maybe this is something to do. I know Facebook changed it, but I can't understand why Restream is working, but Be Live isn't, because the both would have been affected by the changes. But maybe because it's Be Live, Sony went after Be Live and says, you got to stop them guys playing our jingle.
If Sony's going after us personally, it's probably you. You've done something, because I know I definitely didn't do anything on Sony, right? It could be worse. Disney could be
is that right? You're sure and I'm Sony? All right, that's it. All right. You're playing the victim. All right, you're playing the victim. All right, you're playing the victim.
Right. We'll do it. First off, we're going to do the news this week. First off, this week, there's a couple of new releases. There's some new releases coming, and well, have come, and sort of the big and the small. First off, we're going to say Jameson. This is genuinely exciting. I haven't got it yet, because I haven't been down to Dublin. I haven't got it sent out. Jameson have released a single pot still whiskey. Now it's a 5 oak release, malted and unmalted barley, 3 triple distilled, matured in a combination of 3 types of virgin oak, Irish, European, and American, in addition to ex-bourbon and ex-sherry casks. Now it's €60 a bottle, which, well, let's be honest, these days that's probably it's probably what you're going to expect to pay for something like this. But This is genuinely exciting because Jameson have now stepped up with the single pot still brand, and this could be a game changer for the whole of them, for all of those pot still producers. Because let's be honest, Irish whiskey is essentially Jameson and everything else. It's just in terms of sales. There's not really any getting around that. And for them to actually step up and have the that out on the market to waken people up to what this is a game changer. It's a game changer for Irish pot still whiskey. Irish pot still whiskey, for anyone who's not sure, is a PGA product that can Irish pot still whiskey can only be made in Ireland. It's the mash bill is essentially malted and unmalted barley. You can have currently you can have a little bit of other cereals in it, but essentially at its heart, it's malted and unmalted barley, according to the technical file at the minute.
So is this the big boy trying to go boutique and compete with all the small distilleries? What's the idea behind it then?
The idea behind it is Jameson, Irish distillers have obviously noticed that, well, this is a product that we could sell. Irish distillers
look at
don't have
that.
to impress anybody else. Yeah.
Look at that there. It's the first one since 1968. You weren't even born then. And I had 20 years before I was here.
20 years after you were here, you get. Basically, it's these guys seeing that there's a market, there's a demand for pot still whiskey. And once they get on board, and everybody wants to be an iconoclast and smack the big guys, and we don't. But these guys are game changers. I mean, they without Jameson, Irish whiskey wouldn't be where it is, because it was the flag bearer for a very long time, and Irish distillers pumped so much money into it as well. But the fact that they're doing that, people can jump on the coattails and take the whole of the spirit style with them, and it's a game changer. It really is.
It is. I mean, there's Seamus is saying Pars have done the same, but €300 dear.
There's some people are releasing some stuff at the minute that, let's be honest, who's paying the money for some of this stuff? Sourced whiskies that are aged, an age statement on them for hundreds of euros, and it's sourced product. You can understand people releasing their core product or their initial product at a premium price because it's their number one and it's collectible and all that kind of jazz. But some of the prices, God Almighty, it's crazy. It's crazy. But if you think they can get it good on them, but this is a game changer. €60 a bottle. They are in. If you go onto the website, it tells you where they deliver to. They deliver to. It's limited where they deliver it to, but it is available. And let's be honest, that's something that you really, really, really want to see doing well.
Yeah.
Now, the other side of the coin is everyone's favourite plucky little distillery has opened a ballot yesterday for bottle number 1 of their Barrontool Irish whiskey. Now, this is Cologne's first own product. So you go from the Irish whiskey behemoth to basically. I mean, is there anybody out there that doesn't like Cologne and what they're doing? I mean, they're fantastic. They're just amazing. Now, it's first ever whiskey release. 3-year-old states quite clearly on the label. It's a handwritten label. And if you are lucky enough to win the ballot, which the winners will be announced on Tuesday the 18th, it's £149.95. I know I've just said lots of people are charging for a lot of money for age statement whiskies, but let's be honest, is there anybody that's not going to want to get their hands on this? Is there anybody not wanting to try Brendan's spirit? Because Well, we all love Brendan. He's just one of life's good guys. We like pretty much everything Cullone's doing. So I'm genuinely excited by this. So you have here big guy releasing pot still, which is game changing in many ways. And then at the bottom end of it, you have Brendan releasing his whiskey, where probably game changing in another way.
I think I don't like these ballots. I don't like them. I don't
What other
like
way
them
do you do it?
because there's people that are really good in the internet that have multiple email addresses, and the average social media person at a distillery is not going to be able to go through and identify and find people with multiple entries that will increase their chances from 1 in 100 to 98 in 100.
Well, what other way do you do it? I mean, in all seriousness. Now, to be fair, to even it up in many ways, and this is very commendable from Brendan, bottle number 2, or cask number 2, I should say, is going to be available to the people that usually sell it for them. The people that they've distributed to and retail. After stuff. I mean, and in terms of, there'll be lots of people who win this, and you'll see it on Irish whiskey auctions. There'll be lots of them appear in Irish whiskey auctions. There's just well, and if you really want to get it, you probably have to pay through the nose. But it's exciting. I'm sure it's an exciting time for Brendan, to be honest. Now, what are you going to say?
I was going to say yes, definitely. It looks good. It's a long time coming. You've got to nurse this thing along for 3+ years to get it there, don't you? Really,
Yeah. Well, I mean, from concept to bottle, from initially conceiving you're going to have a distillery, raising the money, finding the location, blah blah, all of that stuff. I mean, that takes years. Getting all your licenses, then getting your distillery up and running, then making it, then aging it. 6 years, 7 years in the in the making. And is there anybody in the Irish whiskey world who's got more passion than Brendan? I'd like to meet him. He's unbelievably passionate, a really, really nice guy, kind, generous. Yeah, just a really, really good guy. So that's the next story. Now, I had a good week with my guests this week. People coming over to spend time listening to me waffling on. It was a great time, Sam. They were from Louisiana.
Oh boy, sorry about
that. I think you hit the button too quick there.
No. This is completely different than the other one. It fires immediately, so there's no way of controlling it. Like that appeared on screen without me saying appear on screen. But anyway,
all right. Well, what we've got a long lever. The people that were over, lots of them were from Louisiana, and they were from Baton Rouge. And we've got a long lever this week. We have, what's his name? Frank Mazanz, Masanz, or Z if you're an American. Mazanz. He reached the 100 this week, and he said that the reason he did it was because when he was younger, he chased women and drank hard liquor, and it was whiskey that he drank. So good on you, Frank. Yo, another one of us.
It just takes over and then it disappears again. It disappears. It's automatic. It's quite good. It's quite good if you know what's going to happen. There you go.
So there you go. So good on you, Frank. And even though you're 100, chase women and try and get a drink. Long lever, and he's from Baton Rouge. Now, earlier on last Sunday, I'm a big fan of the Antiques Roadshow. I like the Antiques Roadshow. I like all that old nice stuff that people pretend they're not going to sell when they find out how much it's worth. Oh no, it was my granny's and I really loved it. Oh, it's worth £28,000. Is it really? And just see them going, oh my god, I got a new car. You see all that. But and I know I sent you the clip, and it's a full episode, and there's a bit. I think this is possibly the first time that whiskey has appeared on the Antiques Roadshow. And what happened was the lady brought in 3 bottles of whiskey that she'd had up in her attic and brought it down, and it was the expert did the valuation on it. And it just goes to show that collecting and whiskey as a collectible thing and an antique is now being rated. When it's on the Antiques Roadshow, it's kind of made it. So if you can play this clip, we'll have a wee look at it.
Might do, but again, this works different.
Day like today, glass of whiskey, ice, bit of water, be perfect. Are you a whiskey drinker?
No, I'm a Pinot Grigio person.
Okay, well, I am, and it's quite unusual to see 3 bottles like this. That's not in a collection. So tell me about where they came from.
They've been in my possession for 50 years, but they came into our house in the 1950s.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather brought them home one day, to the horror of my grandmother, and said, look what I got. The landlord was closing his pub down and said, would you like these bottles? And he said, yes. And she said, what am I going to do with those? And they've been put away ever since.
So tucked away in a cupboard or the attic or?
In the attic.
And so when you say they've been put away in the attic, that's not great because obviously you have got some evaporation that's going on here. So that is going to affect it a bit. The history of Johnny Walker Whiskies is he started his own sort of business around the 1820s, 1830s, owning a grocery store in Kilmarnock in Scotland, selling wines and other people's whiskey. And about 30, 40 years later, he realised he was missing a trick. He could blend his own whiskey, and it became almost an instant success. And from a small distillery in Kilmarnock grew this huge whiskey empire, which is now sold globally. What you've got here is 3 varying bottles, but what's interesting is the date of them. You've got the red label there, which I think this one would date from the sort of 1930s, maybe 40s, but then the rarer white label is much more sort of 1907, 1908, that sort of period. 10, 15, 20 years ago, everyone was into wines and fine wines, and whiskey has got sort of steadily more sought after. So, you know, really you're sort of looking at around about £1,000 for that.
For that one?
For that one. These 2, the levels are low. The labelling's better on one than it is on the other. You can see there you've got a bit of damage, but they got the nice white label. These ones would be about 7,000.
Wow.
No.
Oh, wow. That's unbelievable, isn't it? They've been up in the loft in a box.
So overall, you've got the best part of £15,000 worth of whiskey there.
That's fantastic.
No, thank you very much.
Thank you.
There we go.
I had
That'll get you a new Dacia Duster, won't it?
I've got on the Antiques Roadshow, Justin. I got. Remember, I sold a lot of these to people a few weeks. Was it last year? Whatever. But no, it's Antiques Roadshow has now got whiskey on it, which kind of says that it's sort of come of age. £15,000 for 3 bottles of whiskey had up in the attic. It's just increasing in value. And it's good to see. It's good to see the recognition of it. That's kind of why I wanted to put that in. It was nice to see the recognition that whiskey is collectible. I did check just what one of those, the last bottle of that is be sold, because I kind of thought 7,000 for a white label Johnny Walker. Is that? I haven't checked it out, so I checked it out. 9,000 is what the last bottle went for.
There's Russ B saying that'll pay for about 2 hours of electricity over there right now. Very good. Here,
I thought my electric wasn't going up. It's actually doubled near enough my electric in this wee house. It's doubled.
Has it? Gosh, our electric went down, and my neighbours is under 200 for the first time in decades.
200 watt electric. 200 watt.
I know, but we are in Carrick, and we do connect up to the
oh yes, yes.
No, we don't really.
Oh yes, you pay the paramilitaries for your electric.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
A 200 watt.
under £200 for their electric for a quarter. Here's a good.
My electric was £200 for under £200 for the year.
Was it?
Yeah.
All right, yours needs to go up then. Seamus Tobin is saying, would you drink that at that price? No. I would buy a nice, £15,000 would get you a nice MG ZS or a Dacia Duster. So I would just get something like that there.
Oh, you would waste it on an old silly motor. Jesus wept. I wouldn't even sell it, if I'm honest. I would just hang on to it.
You would keep it until it was worth 50,000 then?
I know, I would probably keep it so I could look at it and go, I love you. I think you're very nice. And then I like that kind of thing. That's the style of bottle that I like to have. I like that kind of collectible, old, antique stuff. Drinking it. I've lots of stuff that I can drink. That's something that I would like to hang on to.
We need to tell you about old cars, right? Selling a Datsun 240Z for £1,500, right?
Mm-hmm.
We seen it not long after for £11,000.
Mm-hmm.
25, 30 years later, it's now £39,000. I know that.
But,
you know,
I mean, things that are collectible, people like having them, they like looking at them, they like collecting them. Star Wars toys. A very good friend of mine collects Star Wars toys. And if you take them out the wrapper and play with them, and he doesn't play with them with his wee guns because he's probably heading towards being 60. But he likes having them, looking at them, trading them, and talking to guys and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's nice, you know. It's nice that if you're a collector, that's the kind of thing you want to buy. And collecting whiskey, you know, knowing about the labels and having them is a nice thing to have, you know. Now, next up, disappointment, Justin. Disappointment in the Macaulay household. I was nominated at the Irish Food Writing Awards for my I do a column, for anyone who doesn't know, I do a column in the Sunday Life magazine or Sunday Life newspaper on the Irish Whiskey Reviews. I was nominated for Spirits Writer of the Year award. That's just rub it in. Don't show the picture first. Show the picture that I sent you, not the website.
The picture.
Just to show that I was nominated.
Hold on, I can't find it. It's so small, so small. What picture was that one? That one?
Yes.
Yes.
So you can see there, Powerscourt were sponsoring it. Eva Cargray, Shaman de Bruin, Marty Macaulay, and Big Ocean Davis. Marty was nominated. Marty didn't win. But imagine someone from County Antrim not winning in Dublin. It's unprecedented. It's never happened before. So I'm only joking. But congratulations to all the winners. So you can get rid of that picture there. Just get rid of that picture, and then pull up the winners.
You could have sung a song when you won.
Not next week. Not next week. You could. No, Eva Cargray won. Congratulations, Eva. The list of winners. Justin. See, obviously, because Justin's so sensitive to my feelings, he just shoved up the old picture just to rub it in.
Anybody would think this show was planned. Let me see. James Murray-Docherty bought a Balvenie 1951 for a couple of hundred in 1998. Couldn't imagine what it's worth now.
James, you don't need any more money. All you have to do is do a crowdfunding. The money just drops out of the sky to you.
I thought you were going to send us to the Caribbean and you were going to open a rum distillery there.
Right.
That was next. Yeah. We'd do that. We'd do that for you. We'd do that.
Aye. No, James. There's Connor on. He's telling you 36,000 is what would it be worth.
He probably knows. He probably has one.
There's no point in rubbing it in there, Connor. Just kick him on while he's up.
We've just been blocked. Oh boy! If you
Right.
can't have fun in this show. Oh, hold on.
Oh.
Mark Kerr's told us about this one before. He's a 1957 Glen Grant 50-year-old tasty stuff.
Mhm.
Did you let us taste that once, Mark? I think you maybe
Yes,
did.
He did, yes.
Yes,
He did
that
let
was
us taste
lovely.
that. Tasty stuff. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mark, by the way. Thank you very much once again.
He mustn't be babysitting tonight. He's able to watch the show.
No, I don't know. Right. Anyway, congratulations to all the winners. Well done. Well done. This, we do like an environmental story, as you know, and this is a pretty cool one. Dublin City University have teamed up with did it with Waterford. Let's be honest, Waterford are very good at this, all this progressive stuff and innovative thinking, and great, good on them, good on them. Yeah, it's fantastic. They've teamed up with Dublin City University to create a bioplastic, a plastic from, rather than from fossil fuels and oil, from leftover waste products from distilleries. Now, in the little video that's going to come up here in a minute, it tells you that fossil fuels, it takes 5 kilos of CO2 to make 1 kilo of plastic. But using the method they have, it's 1 kilo of CO2 to make 1 kilo of plastic. And it's using a waste product that a lot of times is just thrown on to fertilized fields and stuff. This kind of innovative thing, and okay, it's not going to solve all the problems and ills of the world, but it's a start, and this kind of thing is to be applauded. And applause to the Waterford Distillery, because again, another sort of innovation of theirs. So I think there's a little bit of a video in this, Justin, is there?
Yep, should be able to play
A
it.
new bioplastic made from waste grain from breweries and distilleries could be turned into essential equipment for science labs. Researchers at Dublin City University say they hope to commercialise the new material as an alternative to plastics made using fossil fuels.
This is a prototype to show that usable bioplastics can be made from this, the waste products left over from distilleries and breweries.
Really what's novel about what we're looking at is we're not utilising any food sources to make our bioplastics. So we won't be competing with food requirements for the world.
And with the number of breweries and distilleries in Ireland growing by the year, there will be no shortage of raw materials.
It's very, very difficult for newer breweries and distilleries to get rid of their waste. So when these guys contacted me to get involved in the project, it was I suppose a win-win for us. It will be a win-win for the industry. It's just another avenue to get rid of waste.
This bioreactor turns the waste into lactic acid, which is turned into compostable bioplastic. The process uses less energy and is more carbon efficient than fossil fuel plastic.
Standard fossil fuel plastic that we're benchmarking against might use about 5 kilograms of CO2 to make one piece of plastic, versus using 1 kilogram of CO2 to make our bioplastic instead.
Science labs around the world produce more than 5 million tonnes in plastic waste every year. Biocompostable, bioplastic products like this could put a serious dent in that. This research project has been awarded €2 million in funding by Science Foundation Ireland. This process is still being developed, but they hope to have it commercialised within about 3 years, and from there they could supply all the science labs in Ireland. Coleman O'Sullivan, RTE News.
There we go. There we go, Marty.
Aye, that's what's not to like about that. Waste product being turned into something usable that's also biodegradable, etc., etc. So yeah, excellent idea. Win. Now, last week we interviewed John from the Scotch Malt Whisky Society. I found myself in Edinburgh at the start of the week and decided to take myself down to the Kaleidoscope. I've been there before, but I decided to take myself down and take some photos, just to show people the kind of thing that was there. And it was super. I mean, it's in a fantastic location. It has obviously an amazing whisky selection, and I got to try something a little bit unique.
People didn't believe you about this.
Mm-hmm. That is a double distilled Bushmills. Now, it was fantastic. Bushmills do some amazing stuff when they want to. When Bushmills, it's kind of like when Bushmills decide to put on the afterburners, they just go stratospheric. Other stuff they do, it's like, oh my god! But that was superb. But the bar itself, if you haven't been, I've got some pictures of it. I took some pictures, and it is beautiful. It's in a fantastic location. That's up on the 3rd floor, looking down. The house that it's in is apparently the house is where Robert Louis Stevenson wrote Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I think.
Wow.
Yeah. You go in, you sit down. You've got a wonderfully knowledgeable bartender comes over, talks to you, asks you what you like. And I laughed. I says, surprise me with something. And he says, oh, what about a 3-year-old Texas whiskey? I says, yeah, I know lots of stuff that's tasty from Texas. And he says, oh, I says, I take it as Balcones. Oh, have you tried Balcones before? We got in a conversation. And he says, yeah. So he brought it over. It was superb. Bushmills. Then he says, what about a double distilled Bushmills? Sorry. And yeah, he says, I tell a lie. Sorry, don't want to drop anybody in it. He says, I'm not allowed to tell you what distillery it comes from, but it's a double distilled Northern Irish distillery. I wonder which one that could be. And he brought it over. I mean, wow. Connor, that's kind of hit the nail on the head. Bushmills, Jesus, they do some fucking awesome stuff. And some of the stuff that they do in the Causeway collection has been a fantastic whiskies. But they just don't do enough of it. They just kind of get it and then veer right and then veer left. And if they just could get to line up all the sort of dominoes, they would be easily the standard bearer for Irish whiskey. They really could and should be. But anyway, we'll not get into that. But it's superb. William says he's down in Bushmills. Oh, he's down for the Salmon and Whiskey Festival. Are you?
Oh, right.
We should have thought we should do that tomorrow.
Could do. Tomorrow afternoon, you could do, yeah. Can you?
Bear with me because I'm not. Yeah, possibly. I have to. I never even thought.
It's supposed to be a really wet day. We recommended it. I've been to it before. The Bushmills salmon.
I'm checking my phone. I'm checking my phone just to see what I'm doing tomorrow.
Let me see. There's Denny Hughes Centre and tagging somebody called Robbie Patton. Yeah. Good evening to you.
There's my old friend Denny. I haven't seen Denny for a while now. Really must get a catch up with him. One of life's absolute gentlemen and a fantastic teacher.
And you're probably wondering if your name hasn't appeared on screen. Sometimes if you've privacy on, I can see one half of the conversation, can't see the other. But everything that you've typed in tonight has appeared on screen, including the Russian sort of trying to con you. He's appeared on screen there because all on this one they all appear on screen, and then the featured ones appear beneath me. Yes, if you're only seeing one side of the conversation or wonder why I'm not talking about it, it's because I don't understand the conversation. It's because privacy's on and I can't actually see it.
And you don't speak English that well.
And I don't speak English. Listen, Russ B needs to ask how the island trip was. Tell him.
Don't even start. But what happened was we were booked to go to Ida. Everybody was all sort of out, paid up. Everything was all on plan. And on the Wednesday, I got a phone call from the captain who looked at the weather forecast, and he said, "Look, it's kind of rough out there. I'm looking at the forecast. Blah 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 blah." On the Thursday morning, he phoned me to say it's looking like a force 8 gale is coming in. for Saturday morning. Do we still want to go? And I was like, can we leave it a little bit? Just leave it to see if it blows over. And he turned around and he said, well, it looks like it's going to hit. So we had to pull the plug on it. We don't want to turn the whole thing into the vomit comet. The problem was Friday night was really when Thursday night was when it really got bad and sort of demolished parts of Ballycastle.
Yeah, Helter Skelter went, and I loved that.
Yeah, well, Friday was a bit rough, but Saturday was actually, it sort of blew itself out, so we probably could have went, but we had to make a call, and we made the call.
Did we get to keep all the money?
No, of course we didn't. Justin, we tried to get everybody paid back as soon as possible, because anyway, it was unfortunate, but we're going to do it again in the spring. Fingers crossed. Unfortunately, you're the likes of that. You are the mercy of the weather, but it was the right call at the right time.
Yeah, there you go.
It is just unfortunate, but anyway, it will come again. Don't worry, it'll come again. And we'll hopefully, but I know there was a few people got at me about that they missed out or they couldn't go or all that kind of thing. So that'll do. We will, in the summer or in the spring, whatever, we'll get sorted out and we'll get a few days lined up and we'll get people we can all get across.
There's Connor saying he's on the JJ Corey Flintrock number 3 15-year-old, which is a bush, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah, we know Bushmills is phenomenal. Everybody knows Bushmills is bloody amazing. But unfortunately, they release stuff sometimes that just isn't up to scratch, or they do bloody Peaky Blinders nonsense. I mean, anyway, we know that, but we do love Bushmills. We do love Bushmills, you know. But
Very good. Oh, we've got people. The good news with using this system, people link through on sort of Twitch tonight. So there's Iowa State gay clone. That could be a bot. It could be the real thing. He's saying hello, as well as that. And he's saying howdy. He must be real. He must be real. I wondered why the viewers is always in double digits, but it jumped up substantially, because what happens on Twitch is loads of people raid you, and then they show all their friends. It works a bit different than other things. You're not. Have you gone to sleep yet, Marty? No.
Justin starts talking about all that shit, and honestly, it's just like, oh Christ, oh yeah, Justin,
yeah. There we go. There it is. He's just said, "Rock chalk Jayhawk on my chest, please." I have absolutely no idea what that means, but I hope it's a code for FSB agents somewhere at Iowa State University. Oh, there you go. The CIA's on the way around. There you go.
CIA's coming around now. So now we're going back to our experiment, Justin. Okay, because what we want to do is, remember we poured these earlier. Right? Remember we poured these whiskies earlier, Justin?
Yeah, I do. Somebody's just said, look, this is a new one. This is a good one. The African Parrot says, are you one to polish your dome? Polish my head? No, it's because I don't have makeup on, African Parrot, like yourself, and it reflects off my head. You know?
All right.
Yeah, there you go, African Parrot. By the way, we're all from Northern Ireland. Just remember that. All right?
Shut up.
Now.
Anyway, now, what we're going to do is pour another little drop. Right?
Look at this idiot. Oh, look at this idiot. Oh, boy.
Right, we finished?
Yes.
Right. So, pour another drop of standard silky and another drop of cask strength. Okay. And what we're going to do with these ones is add a teaspoon of water. Or a drop of water. Half a teaspoon to each one.
Okay.
Right. Then what we're going to do is pour another one. Now, I give you all my, well, I didn't give you all my Glencairn glasses, but I give Glencairn glasses to you, which left me short.
I know, I'm coming down with them. I prefer the 201 as well. Look at that there. Look.
All right. Right. Now, I see that.
So,
now,
I don't understand. We've got 2 that have been sitting out for a while, 2 that was just added water to, and what's the third 2 for?
Right. 2 have been sitting out for a while, 2 you've added water to, and 2 you've just poured. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
Right. So,
yeah.
What we want to do is compare. Is there much difference between all of these?
Okay.
So the one that's been sitting out, you can take. Bear in mind that is at cask strength. That's that, or not cask strength. That's standard strength. You haven't watered it down. You haven't done anything with it. So take that and take your standard that has a drop of water in it.
Okay, so which one should I lift and try first here, Marty?
Lift the one that's been sitting out for a while.
Right, the normal 46% silky, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And then try the standard that's just been poured. And what I'm noticing is the standard freshly poured versus the one that's sat out for a while doesn't have the same
intensity on the nose.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. The one that is just been poured doesn't have the same intensity on the nose. It really doesn't. Right? The one with some water in it. And that's only had water in it for a little bit, but it's got a better nose on it than just been poured. So you have the one that's been sitting for a long time has a much better nose to it as a standard bottling. Okay? There's a standard. You can get that, yeah?
There's much more aroma coming off the one that's been poured for some time.
Yeah, definitely.
And even I can smell that. I mean, I don't understand that. I'd have thought the stuff that had just come out of the bottle fresh, wouldn't have had as much aroma. I mean, I thought it was because I smelled that one first and that one second, but it's not. I could tell these 2 apart if I swapped them around. That.
You mean you could actually? You mean you could actually use something on your nose?
So don't worry, folks. I have taken the comments out of the video, but they'll still appear in the comments below. There's not a lot you can do to censor that without stopping the broadcast, but that's what these people want you to do because they've precious little to do with their lives, you know.
Right. Excuse me, something in my throat. Anyway, so the one that's been open for a while has allowed oxygen to it. It's allowed to breathe a little bit. So whenever people tell you about this, it doesn't matter about something being out for too long. Well, it's not true. Here's the proofs in the pudding here, right? Yeah, different.
If I hadn't poured them from the same bottle than myself, I wouldn't have realised. I wouldn't have believed myself. We'll see.
Now, in terms of taste,
the strange thing is, I think the taste is very similar.
Well, what I would say is the one with a little bit of water in it has probably moved that along and opened it up a bit quicker than the new one. The freshly poured one isn't as tasty as the one with a little drop of water in it. And the one with a little drop of water in it is not as tasty as the one that's been sat out for a while. Correct?
Yes, I think so.
Right? Now,
Okay.
the
How does that
strength-
work?
It's to do probably with oxygenation. This is something that's not particularly well understood. So yeah, it's very hard to know exactly what's going on chemically, but the fact that whiskey's allowed to sit out and open up and breathe, it's why I think it used to be that people decanted whiskey into little decanters and poured them out. It's probably something very similar. That's probably the idea behind it. Now the cask strength, if you do a comparative between the cask strength and this is the cask strength that's just poured with the standard that's just poured. Okay, now, obviously there's going to be a huge difference here. I mean, one's pretty much about 80% more on the nose, right? Now, on the nose, there's a huge difference. The one at 46% has much more flavour. Correct?
How does that work?
Well, that's the one. The one they have the same amount of congeners. It's just that it happens to be much more alcohol.
This is nearly as good as the Sonic Season one, where the black bottle was altered, the flavor was altered by the actual music playing.
Now, take the cask strength one you put a drop of water in against the standard that you put a drop of water in and measure those.
Okay, right, okay. Oh, I might be becoming a purist and going down the cask strength through it. The cask strength of the drop of water on the nose. It's evocative. I'm sitting in Nancy's in Nadara.
But that's why you buy cask strength whiskey. You don't buy cask strength whiskey to drink it at cask strength, because I mean it's 64.3%. I mean it's massive, but you drop of water in it, and that just changes totally.
Unbelievable, fantastic. Can't get over that.
Michael, I see Michael's asking the question: is there a difference between a freshly opened bottle and one that's been opened a while? Yes, there is. If you have a bottle that's opened for a period of time, in the bottle it doesn't change that much until it gets to a certain point. And once it gets really down below, really certainly a quarter of the bottle, I think there's so much oxygen in it, and I'm not great on the chemistry of the whole thing, but as far as I know, listening to other people, damn sight more about it than I do. Once it sort of oxygenates and gets below that sort of quarter fill level, and really it's time to just invite a couple of friends around and get the bottle polished off. If you don't fancy it. Justin's shaking his head because Justin wouldn't invite anybody around, just kill it himself.
No, it's not that. Declan Boyle said the only way to drink it is just drink it. That's what I used to think about whiskey. That's what I used to think about whiskey. But there's something incredible going on with that cask strength.
Once you get cask strength whiskies and start and experiment with them and do this kind of thing. And this is one of the reasons that you do lots of this with whiskies. You're allowed to play about with it. You're allowed to do these kind of things and in comparison and compare.
There's six different drinks there now, Marty. There's 6 different drinks.
And probably all 6 of them are slightly different. and yet it's
Jeez.
in many ways it's the same product. I'm sure James will jump on here and tell us, oh no, the cask strength, but the cask strength is the cask strength. It's probably pretty much exactly the same product, but at different strengths with different. The blend's probably the same. Let's just put it like that, and it's been standardized across. But that goes to show you that these 6 different products are 6 different bottles or glasses. Sorry, 6 different glasses from the same 2 products give you totally massive range of flavor, massive difference in flavor.
There you go. There's a good point. There's Michael Caldwell, oxidized yeast. I had bottles I wasn't keen on at first. 6 months later, and halfway down the bottle, he loves them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think you're specifically talking about Silky. You're talking about something else. But there you go.
Silky was probably for me the most obvious thing that happened with when I first tasted I think it was the first batch that James released of Silky. I didn't think it was fantastic at the time, and as it went on, 3 months later, it's like, wow, that's so much better. Then it went down to 6 months later. I thought, something that's bloody good, and I really, really liked it. And then I wrote an article for which I didn't win any awards, Justin. I was nominated but didn't win any awards. And I wrote an article that said, in many ways, I thought it probably shouldn't have worked, but it really, really did. And it took a day to fall in love with it. I feel like, it took a few days, just to appreciate what was actually going on. Yeah, it's we all like the Silky. We all like the Silky.
If you're blocked, by the way, I've maybe blocked you by mistake because I went to block somebody that moved down there. So I think I've blocked the wrong person. I'll have to go in and have a look at that. There you go. That's what happens when you start blocking people. I don't normally block people, but when they start talking balderdash, it's time to get rid of them.
No, James is on there. It's all GND. It's Silky. We all love the Silky. Midnight Silky cask strength was released. Did you release that this week, James? Because I've been busy. I've been had a bit of a disaster at the start of the week with my tour group. And the guy who was with me, his mother passed away, so I had to sort of do loads of stuff. It's not right, but it was a bit of jumping on board and taking over stuff. So I kind of missed a lot of stuff. But the point I'm trying to make with this whole experiment is pour stuff out, let it sit, go and have a beer, maybe another whiskey, then go back to it, try this, put some water into one, try it against another, and do these kind of things until you go, that's a good way, that's a better way, that's how you like it. It's maybe an idea.
There's a good point from Russ B. I've never understood those who say, leave it another year. What happens if it's terrible in another year? They're finishing something else then, don't they, Marty? Yeah.
They stick it in a blend. They're not going to waste anything. But to be fair, when you see the skill that blenders have, and you listen to them telling you about various bits and pieces of their job, a lot of it's all spreadsheet stuff. And let's be honest, the big guys, a lot of what they're doing is going into blends anyway, and it has to be of a certain standard. But you can mask over lots of issues. But when it's coming down to like single casks and single bottlings or special bottlings, well, they kind of know that could another 6 months, another 3 weeks, another year, whatever, that it comes through experience. And when you've got people who know what they're doing and are focused on a very specific thing, then you kind of know they're not going to go that far wrong. But if it does sit too long, The best example I can think of something being overcast is the old 1980s bottle of Old Cumber that was discovered in McCabe's. That That's just so over oaked. But the reason they bottled so many, they bottled it was because it was so rare, and these days it's like 300-400 pound a bottle. It's just ruined as a whiskey, and that's the one that's probably the best example. People buy it just to have it in a collection, and fair enough, that's really what it's for. But it's not a drinking whiskey. It's not a drinking whiskey. And James saying there virgin oak can be too aggressive because it's just there's nothing subtle about virgin oak. If you take virgin oak, it's just straight away pulling out all of these bitter, astringent notes.
Tastes like eating a ruler. You know when you used to chew your ruler at school? It tastes like that, or a HB pencil.
I tried to have biodegradable plastic rulers. Just
did you? All right.
Not whenever I was in school, I got hit with all my rulers. All my teachers used to beat the crap out of me.
Did they? All right.
Oh yes, I wasn't like you. I was always getting punished. Honestly, the fuckers always. I'd love to meet someone. I had a teacher say to me one time, "Macaulay, I could destroy you," and I thought I could put you through one of them windows. You fucking wee prick.
I know. But P.S. Marty was not in Borstal, by the way, just so you know. The way you're saying that sounds terrible.
At one point, I was at a grammar school, and at one point I wasn't actually allowed in the school unless I had a lesson. That's the truth. I was barred from being in the school. Bastards. I hated them. I hated them, and they hated me. Yeah, they were just awful. But no, the point I'm trying to make with all of this tonight is you can experiment. You can set a whiskey out, let it sit, try it against this, and just experiment. Find, I like that. I think that works. I think that changes. James is asking me to put ice in it. No, James, I don't like ice in things.
I like ice, but I have to go away out to the freezer, and it's too far to go in the dark, and the owl might get me.
Then might see your big baldy head just come down. Like, oh look, there's a big shiny meal. There's a pizza with no toppings on
it. I'm getting concerned. I'm getting concerned. I don't know. I'm maybe acquiring a taste for whiskey. I don't know what it is. Either that or the Glencairn castles are heating up a wee bit in the top of my computer, and they're doing something.
Russ, Russ is saying there, ice mutes the flavour. I think ice mutes your palate a little bit too. I do. That's why Guinness, ice cold Guinness, I cannot for the life of me understand why people want ice cold Guinness. It
has to be cold. I like cold.
Oh man, Guinness should be room temperature. It just should. It shouldn't be ice cold. So what do you think, Justin? Is this an experiment that you actually can turn around and go, yeah?
Didn't think it was going to make any difference tonight, folks. I suggest you watch this and back and try it yourself.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if you get, especially if you get something like the Silky here, where it's cask strength versus standard, don't say ordinary or James gets very cross. The standard versus the cask strength, and pour them out, then put water in one, leave one out, and nose them, and take a couple of glasses and do these. Yeah, so you can pick these up. Now they've all been sitting out a period of time. There's certain bits of it you can start to pick up notes that you were only getting in the eighth, the one that had been out a while, versus one that was only freshly poured. Now they've all been out a wee period.
Before we go, I've got to ask this.
Right.
Cask strength is just exactly the same stuff that's the 46% stuff. Yes? Same stuff. Same barrel, same batch. Yes? Yes?
No. If you go down, the blend, this is what James says. The blend is standardised, but a bit of variation for flavour consistency, just to look at the different levels between the cask strength and the 46%. So it's essentially exactly the same, just a little bit of variation in the blend. Okay.
Okay, but
Now, just for anybody, for anyone who's not sure, I'll just read this off the label, just so that a signature blend of double and triple distilled malts with soft grain whiskey and a hint of peated malt inspired by the legend of Donegal Coast. Okay, so it's a blend of double and triple distilled malts with some grain whiskey and a hint of peated malt. Okay, that's the blend. As James said on here, it all comes from GND, the Great Northern. So it's essentially exactly the same. All that is different is the percentage.
Okay, how come then the cask? So your cask stuff is normally slightly more expensive, right?
What do you mean cask stuff?
Well, cask strength stuff is normally more expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, that's primarily due to tax.
Right, primarily due to. But what I'm saying is, you add a wee drop of water to it, and you would think it would turn out exactly the same if you did it. It doesn't. It's a superior drink. It's definitely a superior drink.
Well, the thing is, it allows you to experiment. I mean, there's some of the Cologne experimental range that were brought out, and they're 60%. And honestly, the Ciccolina one, you have to put loads of water in it. I mean, it's nearly 1-to-1, because if you don't do it, the flavour is just not there. And once you get it at a certain point, I mean, lots of water in it, and you take it way down below 40%, and it just transforms it, and it turns it into a really, really, really good drink. Really, a fantastic drink. So don't be scared. Every so often, I get a whiskey and I put water in it, and I water it far too much. But then you learn from your mistake and go, right, well, that's okay. I've overwatered that. So the next time, once it hits these notes, that's really when I need to stop.
There you go. Great stuff. That's been an extremely insightful show tonight. There's Russ B saying, "You remind me of me. You ask the same things."
No, Russ. No. Please, God, don't let there be two Justins in the world. One's more than enough. One's even too many.
There you go.
The recipes are on the website. Michael, you're asking here, have you watched the Scotch the Golden Dram documentary? Yeah, I watched it. And I love all that kind of stuff. I just like the whole thing about whiskey. I like the story. I like learning about different aspects of it. There's loads of nice documentaries about whiskey, including the BBC one where Finoan and Mark Thompson are going across the Isla, and Finoan looks like the valiant sailor with the high-vis vest on in case he falls off and drowns. And he's going across the water. All of those. I like all that kind of stuff. It's super, 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 super.
Lovely stuff. We've got one more thing to mention. If you fancy going to something a wee bit unusual on Thursday, the 20th of October, yeah.
Well, I can't go because I'm under the knife, Justin. I'm getting bits of me lopped off, thrown in a bucket.
Are you? Yeah. Are you?
Yeah. I'm getting bits of me are being decimated. But this popped up. I saw this the other day. It's down in Dublin. It's down in the Dublin Liberties Distillery. Apparently, this was at the Fringe. I was in Edinburgh for the Fringe off and on. And I was working and never got to see very much. But this is down in the DLD. There's a wee video clip, is it? And this might be interesting for people. Go down and have a watch of this.
I can play it, I think. Hold on.
Yeah, play it.
How does a Brethren woman, how does an Ulster Brethren woman end up running a distillery? Well, yeah, there's the story. Whiskey. Ishki Baha, the water of life. It's earthy and it's sexy. Formed from soil, wood, water, time. It's also high-octane international elitism. I'm Tam Tully, and I own the Kingdom of Mourne Distillery in Newcastle, County Down, where the mountains of Mourne sweep down to the sea, the cold, hard Irish Sea, otherwise known as the new Irish Brexit border. But we'll not get into that. And it all begins with my brother, Jacob. Age 16, he puts my dad in hospital. He disappears, my dad disappears, my mother falls apart. I drop my studies in Glasgow. I jump on the first train, ferry, bus, and I come back home, and 30 years later, I'm still here. There's trouble brewing again, but this time, I'm taking no prisoners. I've learned to be a difficult woman. So join me, Tam Tully, as I fight tragedy and treachery and craft the holy grail of whiskey, the perfect single malt. Sláinte.
There you go. Yeah, that is the Mourne Juliet, I think, isn't it?
Aye, as far as I know.
Yeah.
You know more about this than me. I do, because you're all into all that thespian and actor stuff, aren't you, Justin? Because you are training at the minute to be in a play.
I am.
Name and fortune awaits Justin on the stage.
I know. I could be the next Liam Neeson. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you live. I will find you and I will get you.
Now, don't forget, I'm from Ballymena. Liam's from my part of the world. Yeah, if you're free, check that out, and you might be something to go down and see.
Yeah, there it is. There's how to book it. There's how to book it. Nice wee night out in Dublin. There you go.
Yeah.
Great show this week, as usual. As always, thanks for watching. Remember to comment, like, and share on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, Telegram, and wherever you get your podcasts from. And well, I won't upload this into the audio podcast because it doesn't really work, because you can't really see what we're doing. It gets a bit silly. There you go.
Christmas. Seems looking for a Christmas panto. Aye, Justin could do Christmas panto. He could be Snow White. No, Justin could do Snow White. I actually was.
There's Williams asking, are you going to sing, Justin? No, I was going to have a bigger part, but then when Gary auditioned me, William and me both know Gary auditioned me, he realized I couldn't sing. He couldn't sing the last time either. The show's good, by the way. You're superb. Your folk group's fantastic, William. Fantastic. We must tell people about that. You'll actually see me if you check out YouTube today. You'll see me doing video for the Harpers in Rosemary Street Presbyterian Church. Yep. Thanks, lad. Off for a glass of ordinary. There you go.
Justin, James is saying he's going for a glass of the ordinary. That's what I'm saying. You shouldn't call it ordinary. The silky original. This is the standard silky. Lovely stuff it is too.
Listen, I've got to tell you a story. This is a fact, right? There was a product, right? There was a product, and one was called Normal, Total, and Complete, right? And everybody always bought Complete because they thought it was more than Total. But actually, the Total one give you more service than Complete, but cost you less money. But people always paid more for less rather than less for more. But anyway, that's
I have a friend whose wife is I think she's got a master's or something in chemistry, and she used to work for the biggest soap manufacturer in the whole of the UK. And I says, "What is it you do? Because I've never heard of you." She says, "Oh, we make washing powders." I said, "What do you mean?" What she said was, "I make Ariel, Daz, other soap are available, and all the Sainsbury's own brand products and Tesco's own brand products." I said, "What's the difference?" "Nothing." It says, "They're all exactly the same."
Well, my grandfather used to work in the boat delivering petrol to Northern Ireland, and two 2-star and 4-star came in the same thing, but people deny that, but they did in the book. But anyway, there's additives
there ain't
somewhere.
Nothing ordinary about the Silky. The Silky is a fabulous stuff. This, however, you can buy for about €35 a bottle, 30 £30 a bottle, roughly, something like that. This is a little bit more limited edition. You have to be on the ball to buy the cask strength stuff because there's a handwritten label. So this you can buy on special occasions. This you can buy all the time. So go on the website and buy yourself a bottle. If you haven't tried these two, honestly, you really need to do. And open it, give it time, and you are in for something superb.
Marnie, there's a question. We better answer this because if they're late to the show and we haven't seen their name before, always like to give you a mention. Jason Thornton, do you have any chocolates? Anybody tried the Midnight Silky? I love the Dark Silky.
Well, put it like this. I think we'll let the other guys who are on the feed here comment whether they have tried the Midnight Silky and whether they like it or not. Pretty much all the stuff is good.
We tried it before it came out, didn't we? We did. We did.
We got to try it. And it's I mean, there's an awful lot I like about the Sliabh Liag and our draft distillery. Midnight Silky, superb. And James, I think released the Midnight Silky cask strength this week, and I do apologise for not keeping up with this, but I was actually trying to figure out how I was getting home. Because it was, I jumped on to the tour that was on, and I had actually no way home today because I hadn't booked me onto the ferry. So I was too busy trying to figure out how the hell did I get home on Saturday. But I made it. I actually made it. So that was happy. That was happy. Yeah, the Midnight Silky is very good. Very, very, very good.
It is good. There's somebody watching on Twitch asking a sensible question. There's Ben Jerome saying he drinks Johnny Walker Red Label whiskey. It's very popular around the world. That
listen, you drink what you want to drink. Okay, Johnny Walker sells 200 or 20 million cases a year. It sells double what Jameson do. So obviously they're doing something right. It's a little bit too bland for me. And I think there's better whiskies be had for pretty much the same money. But if you drink Johnny Walker, exactly, good on you. You know, Johnny Walker back
Nothing
in the
wrong
day.
with it.
Johnny Walker back in the day didn't taste anything like Johnny Walker today. But if you're just starting a whiskey journey and you really want to get into lots of different things, start with whatever you like and drink whatever you like.
Ben, we actually did a show about this in the past, comparing old and new Johnny Walker, and the stuff in that bottle is old stuff, and it tastes far superior than the new stuff. So taste it's got sweeter over time, isn't that right? Is that what you think? Yeah, sweeter.
Yeah. Well, everything over the last few decades has just got sweeter and sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. It's to make up for the fact that everything's all about yield these days, and people just want yield for stuff, and they compensate that by adding stuff later on. You know, and that's why a lot of the Waterford stuff I take my hat off to them as well. You know, because they're trying to do it at source to give flavour to carry on through, and good on them. You know, ain't nothing wrong with people using the stuff that they have available to them. You know. People just grow sassy barley. Sassy barley.
Here, there's Ben Jerome. Now, we're not condoning underage drinking, Ben, but everybody here in Ireland has tried before they're 18. Before we're 18, I'll give you the example. When George Bush's daughters were caught with fake ID with the Secret Service agents in the bar, Tony Blair's son was found drunk in Leicester Square in London. And he was under 18. He was 16. I think he was celebrating his GCSEs. But there you go. And nobody batted an eyelid here. And there was a big scandal in America. So different courses, and children in France get watered down wine from a very young age as well.
I'm not advocating this to anybody, but when my son was 15, I said to him, I know you're going to have a drink. I have no problem or no issue with this. However, if you come home and annoy your mother, because you'll not annoy me, I'll be all right. You know, if you come home arguing and fighting or any of that kind of stuff, I'll always be okay with that. But if you do it with your mum, I'll break your fucking back. Right? So as long as you're sensible, and this carries on the way through. If you're sensible with alcohol, it's perfectly sensible. If, however, you think you're not being sensible, anyone who wants to give me a call or a shout or anything like that at any time, if they think they have a problem, all you have to do is let me know, and I'll you can talk to me anytime about it, in total confidence, and we'll try and help you in any way we can.
Okay. Thanks for watching. Excellent show tonight, as always. Didn't know how it was going to pan out and work because I couldn't get it around my head. I've tried it. Unbelievable. 2 drinks, 6 different drinks by adding water and leaving out for time. That was the best comparison yet. That was the best comparison yet, Marty.
Well, put it like this. I was sailing over in the boat. What time did I get? What time did you pick me up at?
6:30, I think. 6:30.
I got in at 6:30, and I hadn't a bloody clue what we're doing tonight. And then I thought, right, hang on, I know what we'll do.
Well, you thought about it during the week, but anyway, it always comes together in the night. Next week, we won't mention it. It is a special. You won't want to miss it.
I won't be here, by the way, so you're at the mercy of Justin. God love you.
And be live, because I need Be Live to work. Well, I don't need Be Live to work, but I prefer Be Live works next week. It might be a shorter show. It might be a longer show. It might be full of bots from I don't know, Mogadishu or somewhere like where's that place? Moravia or something, like attacking us.
Honolulu. Anyway. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. You know all about these troll farms and all that shit. I couldn't care less.
I know. If only we knew somebody that could go and sort them for us. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh no, hang on. He's retired. I know. Don't forget. Don't mention that.
All right.
Anyway,
take it easy.
That's okay.
Right.
See you there.